Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Slime, Episode 10, Season 1 finale. We did it, double digits. Can you believe it? I'm Diego Pizarro, joined as always by
Benjamin Smith. Hello, guys. How you doing?
And this week, we're going to be talking about our experience at Comic-Con. We just went recently. Ben, start things off. What are your overall thoughts?
All right. Well, we hadn't been to Comic-Con in a long time. When's the last time you went? Did you go last year?
It's got to be like... No, because I would have been
hadn't
away.
been in like 4 years.
I think it's 4 years.
Yeah. A couple of our friends go every year, but for me and you specifically, we hadn't been in a very long time, at least pre-COVID.
And it was kind of lame, honestly, the first time I went. Like the last time I went, I've only been once before this time.
It was a bit more exciting. Usually I'm thinking about Comic-Con versus Fan Expo, and Comic-Con is a lot more tame. It has less going on, but especially in past years. But I thought this year... It was effing busy, eh?
Too busy.
It was packed right when we got there.
That's our bad. I mean, I don't know why.
We went Saturday in the thick of it at like 3 p.m.
Right at the busy hour. And I mean, getting in there was
We
an
couldn't
adventure.
figure out how to get in here. We were walking all around the building.
Dude, they were herding us like cattle around
Oh
that
my
building.
God.
You go into one door, and then if you're from Toronto, you'll get it. You come out into the CBC building, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're taking us out again. Then you got to go back in through another door. Then you go down an escalator here.
Okay, yeah.
Just ridiculous.
So we went in the building, and we're walking around the building for 15 minutes, and we finally start going the right direction. And then this one guy's like... And obviously, we're like, okay, we went in the wrong way. And we eventually come to this guy who's just standing there directing people. And he was like, everyone out the door to the left, out the door to the... And I didn't really hear him. He was talking to someone else. And I asked him, and I was like, where do I go? And he's like, out the door to the left. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. You've probably been saying that like 1,000 times today. That's his one job, was to tell people how to get in.
I couldn't stand something like that.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was crazy. Once we got in there, it was like shoulder to shoulder everywhere on the show floor.
The entire time. Like, that's the busiest I've seen it at one of those conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why they can't spread it out. I mean, I guess they don't have enough vendors to justify another room. But it's like, man,
It was crazy.
one other room would have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
even the art section could have just been in its own
yeah,
room.
it was packed in there. I would have liked that, the whole artist alley, if they did a separate building for it. I spent a lot of time in the artist alley this year, way more than usual.
The best part to go, because it was probably the
Yeah.
most dead, because we're all
So-
corporate sellouts.
We roamed the floor for like probably 2 hours. Right when we got there, roamed for 2 hours. And we immediately all broke off. We got separated immediately.
No way we were sticking together in that crowd.
Yeah.
That would have made it a terrible experience. Horrible.
So we're there for a couple hours, and we all met up for food. So you headed out shortly after that, and me and Jonas went to walk around the show floor again, and that was when it had died down. So probably around 5 or 6 o'clock, we started walking around again. It was half as many people, so it was way easier to walk around, and it was a way better experience. But I had fun being back there, and I kind of want to go to another convention again really soon, before Fan Expo at least.
I just enjoy it. The whole everything to do with the day. I just like to have a big busy day like that. Like Comic-Con isn't necessarily the highlight. I enjoyed the journey. And Comic-Con was cool. I got a kick-ass Death Proof poster.
Nice.
Big like movie-sized one for like $20. Really good deal.
Yeah, you get some pretty good deals there.
But probably the best part of the day was just being with your friends, especially because I hadn't seen Jonas Ryland or Caleb in
A pretty long time.
And it was
Yeah.
like I saw them yesterday. So
Yeah, having a day with your buddies and getting out just to do something is something you need every once in a while. So it was good to have that. And Comic-Con is a special place for a lot of people. Do you kind of like think about that as you're there? Like, this is like a huge group of people all coming together to a place where like they can't be judged, and they find people with similar interests that they may never meet other places. Do you kind of get that vibe while you're there? A judgment-free zone almost.
I think about that. And you do think about that, of course, because you see a lot of interesting characters when you're there.
You got to go with an open mind.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't have a problem with it. People being them, people being openly flamboyant.
That's
That's
the
the
place
place
for
to
it.
do it. That's, it's all good. But So like you do think about that, and that's really nice, but it doesn't feel as sacred to me as like Fan Expo does. Even though I know Comic Con is an older institution, ours kind of
Yeah.
feels like it's Canada trying to have their San Diego Comic. It's like the Canadian
I know.
knockoff. Is what
But
it feels
Fan Expo just trumps it every single year.
like.
And Fan Expo is just a huge show in comparison. But that's not till the end of the summer. So it was nice to kind of pre-start the engine for us with
It's also held
Comic-Con.
at a better time, though. I would rather go hang out
Yeah.
downtown in the summertime.
Exactly. But you want to come to Fan Expo? You're totally
Yeah, of
down
course
for
I'm down.
that.
I like it better.
Yeah. So this was kind of getting our feet, dipping our feet in the water before we go to Fan Expo.
And I find Fan Expo does an even better job at reaching out further into quote unquote like nerd
Yeah.
culture. I noticed like they'll reach a lot more into music, which I really like, right? Gives me more incentive to go
Yeah.
buy stuff there. But the musicians that they choose to sell merch from are like musicians that have this link to like nerd culture, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah, I
really
totally get
curated
that.
really well.
You know how many Kiss action figures I saw?
Yeah, well, there's Kiss stuff there all the time. I got an amazing Kiss poster there, you know.
Dude, the huge difference, I think, between Comic Con and Fan Expo is that Fan Expo has a lot of companies come and sometimes reveal new things. It's rare that things are revealed at Fan Expo, but like showcasing stuff before it comes out, like they do that a lot. Like Xbox will show up and you can go and play their new game before it comes out. Big company thing at Fan Expo, along with the small vendors, right? And that makes Fan Expo a lot more exciting, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because they have a lot more promotions they can do. I remember
Yeah.
the last time we went, I think the first It was coming out.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2. And they had
Yeah.
the school bus and like a whole thing you could walk on. And there's
That was
just
so
nothing like
cool.
that at Comic Con. But even Comic Con,
It still feels like when you're in Toronto that day during Comic Con, you know that it's Comic Con and
Yeah.
there's many people around. So it still is an event. It's just a huge event. Don't get us wrong.
but
In
there's
comparison, though.
even Comic Con, I feel, seems to be changing a bit. And that was only my second time. But
Oh,
feel
really?
I feel like the true purpose of Comic Con is probably the comic dealers
Yeah.
and the art section. If you're talking like what's
For
the
sure.
real credible thing about it.
So
But now they're selling a lot more stuff. I saw vinyl when we
I
were
looked
there.
through those vinyl too. Did you see that Kawhi vinyl?
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, after you left, I found that place and I found the Kawhi vinyl. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool because it's so simplistic, right? It just made for a cool vinyl cover. We looked through almost all of them.
I looked through, but look, I'm a record collector and I
Nothing
know
too impressive. Nothing
no.
too.
The collection was impressive, but here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a record collector, so I know all the places to go,
Okay.
and I refuse to pay like $40
Is that how much they were?
for a vinyl. Like even 36 is pushing it for me because I know places you can go where you're getting originals from back in the day for like $5, $10, $15, $20, 25, maybe 30 at like the highest. And so it's really hard for me to pay that much.
But it was
for a
interesting to
record.
see
Yeah, of
that
course.
sort of culture dips into the Comic Con crowd now.
But I was kind of also like, see, this is it changing. This is it. That's almost a Fan Expo move in the sense that it's more
True.
about selling stuff, and they're kind of hopping
True.
onto this trend that's been happening for the past 5 years.
Yeah, the vinyl is kind of coming back to life again because I just think people are into that physical connection to music, and I feel like that has come back to
feel
the
like-
culture after it went digital for the first time. A lot of people were like, I don't, who wants CDs or vinyl anymore? But I feel like in our modern day culture, a lot of people like to collect those physical pieces of media.
Well, I feel like it's more for just having the cover nice
Yeah,
and huge
people are into the art again.
instead of the sound. But I would also say I feel like vinyl is not totally coming back in the sense that it's going to become the dominant platform. Everybody knows that.
No, it will not.
But what I feel like it's going to be is we're all still going to use majority of the music we listen to is going to be on Spotify, Apple
Yeah.
Music, but vinyl, like your favorite albums of all time, you'll own on vinyl because those are like
course.
special and those are the ones you want to have.
I don't have any vinyl, but I was considering getting that just because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, like I'm like even the way I collect vinyl, like I have a lot, but I know it's never going to outcompete my Spotify library.
No, of course not.
So you're kind of just buying the albums that mean the most to you, and they mean so much to you that you want to have a physical copy. But yeah, I thought it was weird to see vinyl at Comic-Con.
Anyway, yeah. It's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Mostly, yeah, the artist alley is where I spent a lot of time, which I walk through every year I go. I walk through the artist alley, but I think I walked through about 3 times, just looking at all these handmade things like sculptures or more of a craft zone, or some amazing art is shown off by people from the area. And I spent a lot of money there. I spent probably like $60 in this artist alley, getting like cool hand-drawn stickers and some sculptures and whatnot. So I had a good time doing that, more than I did in past years. I think I come to the event just for that now, to be honest.
Yeah, I should buy more stuff from there. I never really do.
It's fun. You should bring a bunch of $5 bills, loonies and toonies, because it's a lot of small stuff, like market type stuff. It was really fun.
Well, it'd be a good tinge to add to a room, stuff from there, because you'll make your room look more unique.
It's got a story to it. I got that from Comic-Con. Somebody actually made that, But I'm into that sort of stuff. You might not give a shit about that sort of stuff.
I mean, I'm not as big of a visual arts guy.
Yeah.
And when I'm walking through the artist alley, I feel guilty because I'm like, these guys have one of the most like thankless careers.
True. Yeah.
That you can have. And people don't pay attention to their stuff, and they get overrun by guys who print T-shirts secondhand and throw them up there. But at the same time, I'm like, but I'm not pushed to buy anything yet.
Yeah. The couple things that I bought in the artist alley, I made it a point to mention as I was buying it, like, I'm really into this. Like, I really like what you've made here, because as kind of a creator myself on a bit of a smaller scale, it goes a long way hearing that sort of thing.
You know what made me really want to buy from Artist Alley? And if we go to Fan Expo and there's independent artist stuff, I'm going to buy it this time.
Yeah.
What made me change my mind, we were just on Mag's podcast.
Of course.
Shout out, check it out, 10 Minutes
with. Oh, yeah, guys. Yeah, by the way, we were guests on this show.
Yeah.
So you guys should totally watch it. And we're going to link the show for you guys, so don't even worry about it. You can check it out after this episode.
And the thing is with this podcast, the guy who runs it, Max, he's like an artist. Mm-hmm. And if you're a guest, you get a free piece of art. So I got a really kick-ass painting. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Check out his work on Instagram. It's really good. And now I got that in my room. And it's this really unique touch that really stands out in my room. And I'm like,
yeah,
now I want to buy more independent art.
Yeah, he gifted us both a piece of art. So I put mine up yesterday. Stuck a nail in the wall and hung it up, and it's got to add some character to the room, and there's a story to it. That's from when I was a guest on his show, so that's a cool thing.
Yeah, now it just makes me want to buy more independent artist stuff.
Keep doing that, Mags. It's great. Hopefully you don't get absolutely huge and have to make a painting for every guest, because he's got a pretty impressive collection of art he's done himself.
He's got a stockpile right now.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that in person.
I interviewed a painter for school like a while ago, and his was the same, like just filled. And this guy does it like completely like professionally, and he's going to galleries and everything too.
Exactly.
And his room's just like filled.
The one year that I was in art school, the work start to accumulate in my room. Like huge rolls of paper here and paintings just fucking everywhere. So he's been doing this for 10 years. I don't know how long he said he's been doing art for. 10, 20 years.
Yeah, who knows?
Or his whole life. He's been doing
it would be even longer than that.
So it was really cool you got a cool place, man.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It was fun. All right, so back to Comic-Con though. So what'd you think this year of the celebrities they had? It was cool to see the cast of The Boys, but other than that, it was kind of nothing else.
It wasn't too huge, but Andy Serkis, I'd say, is an A-list celebrity now. He's done a ton of work. He's been in Star Wars, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, 1,000 other things I can't mention right now. Quite a resume. He's a huge celebrity, and he was there, so that was impressive. And then also the cast of The Boys.
Yeah, that's cool
And
to see.
that's pretty much it. There was some cosplay guests and some animation comic book guests, but that's because they're the showstoppers, right? The headliners, and that's what Comic Con and Fan Expo advertise is. Look who's coming to the show. So tomorrow, when you're listening to this, actually, if you're listening to this, the Fan Expo is about to reveal their lineup. As of recording this episode, it's tomorrow. So I'm going to be excited to see what their lineup is looking like. But, Fan Expo, or sorry, Comic-Con being a smaller show, it was decently impressive to have those people there. But
I would never pay, though.
I have a thing. I'm never going to, I
$100.
wouldn't pay $100 to meet somebody. I'm not going to do it.
Not for 5 seconds. And when we went to Fan Expo, they had a guy I would
really
really
wanted to
want to meet. Tim Curry is like one of my favorite actors of all time. And I almost did it, but I'm like, no.
Me too. I saw Mark Hamill there. I saw him with my
yeah.
own eyes across the room. I'm like, wow. But it's
Seeing them in person is kind of enough. What conversation are you realistically going to have?
I personally go to Comic-Con with a lot of money. Like, I save up money for it. So it's not like I don't have the money to meet this person. It's weird to pay to just meet another human being. It's like, I don't want to say it's like degrading or whatnot, but I'm just not into it. And
I don't know. It's weird, the whole meet and greet thing.
yeah,
That's not a bad price compared to other ones. Like sometimes I
paying
do.
in general is tough for me.
Yeah. Sometimes I do think it's genuinely exploitive, but that price isn't bad. It's just personally I'm not willing to do it. And a lot of these, especially the older guys, they make a big living off of doing meet and greets, and I can't really knock them for that. Right? They built.
That's
this
how they
legacy.
make a lot of their money.
Yeah, they built this legacy. They deserve to profit off it.
When I was younger, I think it was the first year I went to Comic-Con, probably 2011. I was about 11 or 12, and it was towards the end of the show, and Jeremy Bulloch was just there at his booth, the original Boba Fett actor. He's a very, very tall man, and he was just standing there, no crowd. So I walked over, I got a picture with him. I talked to him. He didn't charge me anything. And that was like, it felt like a real encounter with the person instead of paying access to meet someone and have it was just a cool experience like that.
Plus, if it's someone you admire greatly, you're gonna have a hard time even taking it all in.
Yeah,
You're just gonna be so like, oh my god, I'm meeting this person, and I don't know how much I would really, savor the moment while it was happening.
Comic-Con just in general is appealing to me and you. You being like more of a movie buff, that's a huge appeal at Comic-Con, and I'm into like comics and action figures and stuff, so that's my appeal to the show. So we both kind of have different reasons we go, right?
Yeah, and like even the comic book stuff and Star Wars, I'm into, just not as like heavily.
Not as religiously, or
I would say Star Wars, I'm a bit more than casual. Like I would say I wouldn't go as far as to say hardcore, but I'm a pretty like, deep Star Wars fan.
yeah,
Marvel, I'm casual,
yeah.
very casual. So, I mean, what else was there that was cool? They had the Canadian Ghostbusters, the Ontario Ghostbusters.
That was cool, eh?
They had a cool set.
That was cool. Seeing the cosplays is really great. I love it, and I ask them for pictures and stuff because that's why they do it.
The technically impressive ones. They had 2 Mandalorians walking around, I believe. One
So
guy was able
cool.
to get the shine on the armor.
They work so hard on
Really
this
nice.
stuff, man. It's all handmade. These cosplayers, they spend hundreds of hours making these cosplays, so it's really cool to see them all in one place, in one show. All the culture come out.
And I like to think with those guys, like, this is their weekend. And I like to think after
Oh,
the convention's done, they go out and get, like,
Yep, they start
wasted and,
planning.
like, meet people that they met in other years and, like, oh, let's meet up
For
and
them, it's
party.
a whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can buy a ticket for the whole weekend. I heard some people just in the crowd talking about the Airbnb they're going back to. So a lot of people come into town, stay in an Airbnb, and go to Comic-Con every day.
Imagine you, like, just...
That's exhausting, though.
Yeah, I wonder if they tour around too. Probably some people follow it and will go to like this one, this one, this one, this one.
That's just opened a whole fucking thing for me. Thinking about that's what you do. You make money based off visiting each of these events, and all you do is travel from each con.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the
how
one
people
con to the
follow a
next.
band on tour. You just go.
Wow, that's cool. Never thought about that before.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably get pretty tiring after a while. Then you have no money.
Yeah, that is true.
I do it for like maybe a couple of weeks, but not one of these people who go for months and months and months and months.
That's harder to find here at Comic Con. Fan Expo is a much larger event, huge event. So everything is just more at Fan Expo.
A lot bigger.
When we first got there, we were walking around the building and it was empty. We're like, what the hell? And this is usually where Fan Expo is. And they're like, oh, nah, it's in the other building, guys.
Yeah, we were totally in Fan Expo mode when we first walked in. And there's some like conference
And I'm
going
like,
on.
shit, it's only one building? I thought it was going to be both buildings. Damn. They still should make it two buildings so that it's not so busy all in one spot.
I think
everyone.
one other room would have made a difference.
It would
made a
have?
big enough difference.
You don't think so?
No, I think it would have. Like one.
Oh, yeah, of course.
One room, that's all. Like would have made all the difference. It's not like it's a massive event.
Well, we said it was shoulder to shoulder. So half that amount of people, if you take and put
That'd
them in
be
the
fun.
other building, it would have been way better.
You don't need to go Fan Expo big.
I don't know if the company, though, that costs money to rent the building.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know.
I don't know what the budget is like compared to Fan Expo.
Probably very well. It is 100% is very expensive to rent. It's right, Toronto Convention Center. So, I imagine it's pretty pricey.
How did you feel, though, walking into this crowd kind of post-COVID?
I don't really worry about it anymore, to be
No.
honest.
I got the thought, right when I got there into the crowd, I got the thought and I got a little anxious. But after 2 or 3 minutes of that, it wore away and I was just tackling this convention.
Look, I mean, I'm not immunocompromised, so I don't worry about it
Yeah.
really for myself. Like, even if I got it, I wouldn't be worried at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not anti-COVID. Like, I wore a mask the whole time. Everything followed the rules. But kind of the last time I was seriously worried about it as far as like my personal safety was probably like that first summer. Once we got through that first summer and not
Yeah.
too many people I knew got COVID, like it was here and there.
We all knew a couple people, though.
And we went, but still, like wasn't everywhere. And I didn't get it. And like most people around me didn't get it. Not saying it was BS, but just my
Yeah.
personal experience.
But did
And-
it scare you being there?
No, not at Comic-Con, right?
Okay.
But I'm saying I haven't been afraid since probably that first COVID summer. Once I got through that summer,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can live with this
I
now.
can agree for the most part. I just think this is the first place I'd been that was this busy in a long time.
That's fair too. Actually, the first crowded event I went to after COVID was Tyler the Creator.
And how'd that make you feel?
That was a bit on edge
Exactly.
at the beginning. And the thing is, Deanna, my girlfriend, got COVID. So, so
Oh,
we were-
really? Was it
Yeah.
from the concert?
Yeah, at that show. Because there were a
Wow.
ton of people posting on TikTok or whatever, like whoever came to the Tyler the Creator show with COVID, F you.
There's a lot of people that probably went with COVID, to be honest. Not just one person.
Yeah, well,
It was probably just going around pretty bad at that time.
yeah, I think what
Comes
that
and
been,
goes in
September.
waves.
So yeah.
Yeah. But, I wanted to, it was important to me to go to Comic-Con this year. I was like, I've had enough of this. We haven't all went as a group in a really long time. And, we're getting older, so we don't hang out as much as we used to. So I'm like, let's get the boys out to
These
have a day.
days are important.
Yeah. And I value them a lot more now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about Comic-Con. It's about sharing an experience with your friends.
That's what I'm saying. Comic-Con was kind of just the excuse to go out.
Yeah,
in a sense.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we went downtown and we grabbed a bite to eat and stuff.
Yeah, and then what made me
walked
feel
around.
really old is I'm like, oh, hey guys, I got to go to work at 7.
Yeah,
I have to leave early.
unfortunately, I had to leave a bit early, leave the show a bit early, but
But awesome day. So
it was a warm up to Fan Expo. It's in a couple months. There's actually a toy convention next month
would I
that
go?
I'll probably go hit up
There was this train.
because I'm just into conventions right now.
There was this train convention my grandfather used to take me to when I was really young.
Oh, really?
And like I wouldn't mind going back there now because thinking back to my childhood memories,
Yeah.
they have some cool stuff. And I'm kind of seeing your point. Maybe just going to conventions, period, is like a fun thing to do.
It's an experience. It is tiring though.
Go to a blacksmithing convention.
Do you think you could go to a
Something like
convention
that.
every weekend
No, not every weekend.
just because you'd be too tired?
Yeah, and you could end up at boring conventions if you went to every single one, like
Yeah.
a dairy farmers convention. No offense, but you know.
I've been to some artisan convention also downtown Toronto, and it's just fun experience. I kind of just like flea markets and stuff like that in general. I like searching through treasures.
I've been to a fitness one. And that was
Really?
actually pretty cool because you try a bunch of stuff and they'll check your posture and check your this and this
That's
and that,
interesting. That's fun.
your stamina or whatever. And then at the X,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember if you.
I remember going with you.
Yeah, but like if you've been recently or
I
what,
hadn't been in a long time.
they have that section. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if they have a different name for it, but it's with all the farm animals and stuff, and it's kind of like a convention where all these farmers and meat producers get together and
Yeah.
show off the cattle. Look, I'm not trying to make a statement about eating meat or whatever. Anyway, it's cool. I like seeing that too, and that's kind of a convention
As a
that I've
kid,
been
you
to.
remember those things as well.
But yeah, conventions are fun. Make me want to go to conventions.
Exactly. So after Comic-Con, I was just looking up what conventions are going on right now. Like, we even got Fan Expo Niagara Falls. That's the thing. There's a couple locations around us that
Do you
have
get Americans
conventions
at that
going
one?
on. That's what I was thinking.
That could
Is
really
it
make it
big?
better.
Is like Niagara Falls Comic-Con big?
Well, would
compared
American
to-
vendors come over?
That's
'Cause
what I'm
they'd have
thinking.
stuff we can't get, or would harder to
Oh,
get.
that's what I'm thinking. Because this year I was searching for something. I was searching very specifically for this specific Spider-Man figure, and I couldn't find it at the show. And I really thought I would. I've been chasing this thing for months now, and I can't find it. And we went on the Saturday, and then I even had the thought, damn, I should have came on Friday. Because on Saturday, you're already looking through stuff that people had got to the day before, because the show starts on Friday. So I think I want to get to these conventions earlier now. If you're going specifically to find
Yeah, to
something.
find things. Well, and with stuff like that too, when you're talking collecting stuff, it's you don't really want to go online because the prices will be ridiculous.
Exactly. So this figure is $150 retail, and it's selling online for like $300-$400.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna pay that.
Right, but in a way that's kind of cool because it's our generation doesn't get this a lot. We still have the hunt, like and you hope are you going
It's
to
just
see it?
exciting.
Yeah, and then the day you finally find the Holy Grail. Oh my God.
Exactly. I'm specifically right now collecting 1/12 scale figures. So like a Mezco, SH Figuarts, stuff like that. So me just scanning with my eyes, and then when I see one, I'm like, you get that like dopamine rush. You're like, that's what I came to look for. Shit, because I was scanning the entire time I was there, just looking for this one thing.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Some people just enjoy that.
Well, I won't spend too much time on it, but like it's the same when I get Kiss vinyls. All their old vinyls used to come with merch.
Yeah.
So finding them with the original merch still in
Do
there.
you find yourself scanning for
is
Kiss
a big
stuff?
deal. Okay, I own like more than enough Kiss stuff.
But are you looking for Kiss
But
stuff?
every time I go through vinyl,
Yeah.
I check every Kiss vinyl because if it has the merch
Yeah.
in there, I'm such a nerd.
Okay.
I will buy it even if I already have the album.
When you're looking through vinyl, what's the first artist you look for? Usually.
Usually who I'm really listening to, like at that time, who I really want to get into.
Yeah.
But usually it's 9 out of 10 times it's an old artist. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble here, but I kind of feel like old artists are really what vinyl is meant for, because that they recorded on analog technology and you're listening to it on analog
Yeah.
technology. New artists,
It's a secondhand decision now.
new artists, I really don't know how much of a difference it makes in the sound when it's a digital file anyway going onto a vinyl. Anyway, point being, I don't know. Yeah, usually just whoever I'm listening to that week. I was
Yeah.
looking for Bill Withers. That's
Nice.
who I've been looking for a lot lately. Ain't No Sunshine, that guy. You know, that's
Ah,
his big
okay,
hit.
I gotcha.
Use me. They play it at work too. They play one
Yeah.
of his songs. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, the Kiss merch, yeah. Like I'll I get so excited when you find it with the poster and with the tattoos
Yeah,
and with the
yeah.
booklet, whatever. So it's just cool with collecting that you still kind of get to have this pre-internet existence of like hunting for something, and it's not easy to get.
Yeah, I've been going to these conventions probably since I was about 10, 9 or 10. And every year I'd go, I'd bring some cash, $100 or so. When I was a kid, it used to be $100 or so. So all I've collected up, that's what I could collect up the month leading up to or whatever. And I'd just look around and buy fucking figures and stuff that made me excited, stuff that you couldn't find at your Walmart. And that's why I started going, and I guess that's why I still go. I work extra hard before I go to the convention, getting some money, saving some money so that I can go and have some fun and just see something you want and think, well, it's in my budget, I'll grab that,
And also just with,
It's an excuse to splurge on yourself.
yeah. And the other thing I'm always looking at Comic-Con or Fan Expo is t-shirts is a big one, because honestly, I don't wear too many branded t-shirts as far as music, artists, bands, or movies or TV goes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because I think most of them that you're going to buy at regular stores don't look good and don't look like they fit in with regular clothes.
Yeah.
When I want a shirt that has something on it, I want it to be able to work with anything I could wear. It should just look like a normal piece
Yeah.
of clothing, not too
It just
over the
has to
top.
be just easy,
Like, I hate how concert tees look, because
Yeah.
I will never wear that thing with anything else.
because it's
Like,
obvious,
it has to blend in with my clothes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it has to
And-
fit your style.
Yeah, and Comic-Con and Fan Expo are the best for that. Like,
Nice.
really well designed.
That made me
t-shirts.
think. Do you think there's such thing as a secondhand clothing convention?
That's got to be a thing.
That'd be pretty cool.
A lot of people are against doing, well, not or say that's gross to do, but I don't really care. I would do it,
Thrifting has,
and it's better for the world.
thrifting has become a big thing, right? And I've thrifted a couple times in my life. By no means do I go thrifting, but I have, and I like stuff that's broken in. I hate when you buy a brand new t-shirt and it kind of stands on its own, It hasn't been broken in. So I'm into that.
I'd like to do. I would like to go thrifting for clothes. I would want to do it with like a stylist or somebody who kind of knows how to style me. And
yeah.
because I feel like the people who are the best at thrifting for clothes are probably people who are like stylists and have a real good eye for
Yeah,
that.
there are people who do it as a
Yeah,
job.
because you're finding wild card stuff in there.
Yeah, you got to know your shit to know something's worth like if you're in it for reselling.
And if it's going to go with this, if you're going to want to wear it, because a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff there is just people got rid of it for a reason. It's over the top. It's it's when you want to find something unique a lot of the time, or something old.
That kind of there are conventions where you kind of do that sort of thing, but then there are also conventions where you go to see things or go to see new things, and that is also kind of what Fan Expo is about. And there you go to do things a lot of the time. Like one time we went and they were playing an unaired episode of Star Wars Rebels. So we went into this little amphitheater in the convention center, and we got to watch this new episode before it came out. It was like the first episode of the new season, and the new season didn't come out for a couple more months.
And that's great. It makes you feel like you're a part of something, and makes the event feel really worth your while.
Yeah, and I'd like to do that when we go to Fan Expo. Let's try to. A lot of them are called panels, where there's a huge audience, and on the stage there's someone basically just interviewing a celebrity, and there's Q&As. People can ask questions. I would like to do that.
We got to cover it.
Oh yeah, we could get footage for you guys and stuff, and get a cool video up, some exclusive footage. Hopefully, if we get clearance to.
Like, look, we want to enjoy
Could
the
we
event.
qualify as press?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But we can still enjoy it. But like, we definitely should spend some time getting footage or something.
My footage, I couldn't make a comprehensive video with my footage, so I just made a stupid little video
Yeah,
with it. Did you film at all?
I did, but
How much
because I was gonna potentially use it for something for school.
Yeah.
But from a visual standpoint, the B-roll isn't
that
really
great.
that interesting. It's well, it's people walking around and like, I mean, you could get the art, but that's gonna get repetitive after. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
doing it in a news
We
format
didn't bring
for my
any
course, but
equipment
yeah.
or anything, so it was hard.
Hmm.
How much footage did you get?
I got a shot of the opening, like when we get in there and you're on the balcony, you can see the whole
Yeah, yeah.
convention. I got that, and then like a few stands, but then I kind of just gave up because I mean, I guess I could have used it for other content on my own, but I was really
It's
thinking for school, and I couldn't
it's
get an interview. So.
possible, guys, that we upload a short video of Comic-Con just so you guys can see, because I have a decent amount of footage and you got a little bit, so we could probably put together a little short video for you guys if you just wanted to check out what the show looked like.
Yeah, I mean, if we had planned it out, we probably could have just shot it and like put it to music or something. Because we didn't have a lot of equipment, but I like shooting on my phone. To be honest,
Me
it's
too.
less stressful.
I'm comfortable shooting on my phone. It's easy.
And if we had a camera, like that just would have added so much stress trying to get that thing around. And
Can't believe neither of us own a sole camera yet.
I gotta get one. It's a worthwhile investment, and it'll basically make you look like a good photographer.
Yeah.
Like there's people who they suck at photography, then they get a camera, and bam, suddenly the photos look stunning.
Exactly. It does make a big difference.
Huge difference.
But you can take breathtaking photos on your phone as well. It's just different. So that's something we might have for you guys coming soon. We'll let you know.
But yeah, I like shooting on the phone, so I'm totally down. You can be more discreet too. Feel like less of a nuisance.
So keep an eye on our YouTube page for a possible video, just so you guys can check out what the show looked like. But do you think this has kind of rekindled the whole Comic-Con Fan Expo? Has it been rekindled for you now that we've went again?
Yeah, I mean, you got me excited about that kind of stuff again because I do think being away from it because of COVID, and then all of the crap content on top of that that's been coming out, I lost any of the kind of like brightness I felt for it, for lack of a better term. So coming back to it has kind of just got me to feel the positivity and just kind of enjoy it. And I don't know, I might throw on some Marvel movies or something again, or DC movies again. I haven't watched one in a while.
Yeah. We kind of, guys, have thought about ranking all the Marvel movies. But in order to do that, we have to watch them all again in order. Because that's just the type of thing we want to create. Well, what if we did a rating without watching them again? We just went through the list.
Well, I'd be talking out of my
and
ass.
It's just like an impulse.
Some of them.
How would you rate this movie?
For some of them? Oh, well, I mean, if there's other parameters you could rate it on too, like the necessity of even having this movie in the first place, how successful it was.
Yeah. We've been thinking about ranking the Marvel movies for you guys, so that's something we will get to eventually. We just haven't really decided what that would look like. We'll probably get it to you guys in the next season, in season 2 of The Slime.
Yeah, coming up with video.
Yeah, we're going to be trying out getting a version of this podcast for you guys that has video of us. So on our YouTube, you'll be able to watch us talk separate from Spotify. But we're going to need a week or 2 off so that we can figure out how to get this working like a well-oiled machine for you guys.
Yeah.
We're really excited to kind of move forward with the podcast.
Going to another level.
Yeah. Now that we've gone to 10 episodes, how are you feeling looking back? When we conceptualized the podcast together, we agreed 10 episodes and then we'll see what happens. So now that we're here, how's it feel looking back?
I mean, look, it's interesting to see how the format has changed and gotten more open. We had a lot more segments before.
We started, with so many ideas. And as we kind of got into this, we kind of just found our own groove and our own way of doing things, right?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I'm looking forward to adding another element to it because I don't think there's a point in switching seasons.
It'll open a huge door for how versatile our content is. You guys will be able to watch quick shorts and videos and highlights from the podcast and actually see video. I think it'll be a game changer for us for sure.
But we still got a long way to go, and I'm happy with that too. You know?
Yeah.
And
who knows? It might not work out.
yeah, for sure. But
we'll see.
You know, but you have little touch of confidences. I mean, right now it's like the tiniest things, like, you know, seeing we have people, someone in Illinois, shout out to you, listening, and someone in Texas, shout out to you.
Yeah, we're based
listening.
We're based in Ontario in Canada. So if you're listening from outside of there and you're not in our close circle, thanks for checking out the show.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool to think that people from other countries are listening to us.
Even though you guys are a tiny fraction right now, we appreciate just seeing that was
small
cool.
Collective.
Yeah.
Our fan base may be small, but it's cool to have one.
Hey, but to all the GTA people out there too, thank you.
Yeah, everybody, you got us here. All of our friends and family got us here through listening and whatnot. So thank you guys also for making this happen.
And I also wanted to mention, it's just it's fascinating to see what episodes get
Do
popular
well.
and what don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the top, we'll discount the episode 1 because that is our most popular, but it's not a direct like thing we talked about. But like Star Wars, of course, is number 1. Dial of Destiny, I'm surprised, is in second place. The Indiana Jones one. I didn't think it would do that well.
The episode we talked about, the Dial of Destiny, did really, really well. And looking back, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but just I don't know.
Maybe more people like Indiana Jones than we think.
Well, I just didn't think it would be number 3. I thought it would have been like number 5. 6.
Yeah.
You know, Last of Us is 3 actually, and that makes sense.
We caught the wave with the premiere of that show, eh?
We started at the right time.
We could also talk about it finished now. The show is wrapped up. The Last of Us, the first season.
Well, I have a confession to make. I lagged behind.
Oh, you're not up to date
because I
yet.
kind of lost interest. Not saying it's
doesn't
bad, just didn't grab me.
You know what, man? You do that a lot.
Yeah, but okay, you have to also give me credit. It's not like I'm doing 3 episodes and like I'm out, or 1 episode and I'm out.
Yeah.
Actually, the only show I've done that for is Game of Thrones.
I think after 2 episodes that aren't interesting in a row, you drop out.
Yeah, well,
and that's understandable.
I'm getting pickier with it. I don't know if it's just getting older. Not that we're old, but
like, are you watching Mando yet? Mando?
Yeah, I'm not even up to date on that.
Are you on? That's okay. There's a brand new
I didn't like
today.
episode 2.
You watched?
Or no, episode 3. Which one was? No, I'm on episode. Yeah,
what was
I didn't
the
like the most
Snooze
recent
Fest?
one.
Did you watch the Snooze Fest?
Yeah, just like
you did.
Yeah, and I'm
with
like,
the scientist.
The whole side quest thing, and then a kind of a pointless space battle. At the
Look,
beginning.
don't come at my throat for saying that's a snooze fest. It's all I'm saying is you come to Mando to watch Mando, and that episode was not Mando.
Yeah,
I'm not saying. You know what? How they showed Coruscant. I guess we'll talk about that episode a little bit, just for a second at least. They showed Coruscant, and they are letting you in on this scientist, Dr. Pershing, and I think he's going to have a lot to do with the creation of cloning Palpatine. You know, in The Rise of Skywalker, how Palpatine's cloned?
Yeah.
And they just did it with no pre-planned work. That's what they're doing right now. They're starting to explain how Palpatine actually got a clone of himself. That's why they wanted Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
This is the large theory going around, and they're saying that. But I don't know if it belongs in the Mandalorian storyline.
I'm sick of them taking away the main character out of their own show so we can go watch something else.
Yeah, I take that back. I agree with you with that, though.
And I'm going to level with you, okay? I have kind of a biased opinion. Obviously, you know, we've talked a lot about franchises and stuff, you know, so I guess I'm a little hypocritical here.
Yeah.
But we all have a bit of franchise fatigue. And one of the things that goes with that, at least for me, is the newer the character is, it's harder for me to care because it feels removed from what I originally got into this for. That's not me saying it's garbage or it's going to be bad or whatever. It's just, it's harder to grab my interest, you know? And that might be more for me watching just standalone movies in the past couple of years. So I kind of just I see these characters once and done. But
how do you feel about they're using this show as a platform to give a random obscure character an hour of screen time?
Well, it's just
isn't that crazy that this brand new character, some doctor, just has an entire episode now?
Because that's such a corporation move. It just seems like a move
yeah.
from people who
I don't know.
care about making money primarily and aren't really as passionate about Star Wars or whatever.
I don't want to make any huge claims about this episode right now, but I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
It was good content though. It's showing how he's changing and how he's adapting to new life under the New Republic. I liked that. But I don't know if we needed that much of it in Mando. I don't know if it's just frustrating that we didn't get the episode from this week was 30 minutes and last week was an hour of Dr. Pershing, and that just kind of annoys me a bit.
But it feels like a corporation's decision, which it is, because right, it kind of feels like, all right, we got this season for you, and now here's your, well, this one's early season, but mid-season commercial break advertising our new show coming out next fall.
Oh yeah,
here we go.
The
Like
Dr.
that's what it
Pershing
is.
show.
That's what it is. That's
We'll
what it
see.
feels like. That's totally what it is.
And you know what though? That episode as compared to this week's. So this week's episode, you got Mando and Bo-Katan and Paz Vizsla, the big blue Mando and the armor. They're all in this new episode. I bet that's why it's so short, because it's so expensive to have all these people on set on the same day filming at the same time. It costs a ton of money. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just here's
So you get short episodes with all of them, though.
and it's very here's your next product, right? This is what it's setting up. And
This last episode, though, that came out today, it's
Yeah,
quick. It's 30 minutes. It's a quick adventure. It's cool. It's fun.
no, I haven't given up yet. Don't worry, not on
You'll
that.
you'll enjoy this episode. Just take it for what I just told you it
Yeah,
is.
I've been kind of out of the franchise bubble for the last little bit. I'm watching.
But we're all waiting to see where the hell this season
Yeah.
is going, and that's exciting to be a part of that as it's coming out.
I will finish The Last of Us. I will finish The Mandalorian. I just kind of got off.
They're really
as I said,
exciting things right now.
that kind of stuff. I've been watching Brian De Palma movies for the past couple of weeks.
But yeah, that's
So that's where I'm at. So I'll finish them though.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's our talk on Comic-Con,
Yeah, thank you guys for listening.
and this is the end of season 1.
I hope you guys enjoyed our first season. We're going to be coming back. With
We certainly had a good time.
Season 2 is coming.
Yes.
We're just going to take a week or 2 or 3 to plan it and plan how we can improve the show for you guys. So,
We won't be gone that long.
no, not that long. We're going to try to be back for you guys real soon.
We're enjoying it too much. to
Yeah,
take, like,
it's
a month.
real fun coming to just talking about this stuff, and it's great to hear. I've had some people reach out being like, I like listening to the show. It makes me want to talk about movies more, and that's the goal for us, So thank you guys, and we will see you next season.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe we'll make a proper outro next season.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Bye.
Bye.